You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. This is a program called
The Wonderful World of Wardini Books.
It's our pleasure, as always, to have in the studio the wonderful Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North. How you been?
All right, yeah. We've had a pretty whirlwind week or so.
You have. You're world famous in New Zealand too. The best bookstore in New Zealand is out in Havelock North, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's and Napier. So it's Wardini Books, the whole whānau, won the Nielsen Bookshop of the Year for 2020 for the whole of Aotearoa.
For the whole of New Zealand. That's unbelievable. Well, it's not unbelievable because we know how great you are, but it must feel so good.
It's really cool, eh?
It is. Did they send you a big certificate or a shield or something
like that? Not
that?
yet, so I'm wondering if we get a shiny thing. But we've never had so many presents come into the shop from very, very lovely publishers, customers. It's been delightful.
Any scones with real butter and raspberry jam?
No, what have we had? We've had lots of biscuits, some beautiful homemade biscuits with massive chocolate chips in them. Lots of chocolate, lots of other biscuits. We've had beer, we've had wine, we've had the most beautiful bouquets of flowers. We've had to sort of divvy those up.
I love it. What's your favourite biscuit?
I don't know, I'm not a massive biscuit person. Probably the old Tim Tam, really.
Yeah, I'm a crispy man myself.
Crispies?
Yeah. 2, please.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Nice hot cup of tea. Anyway, we digress.
A little.
Running for Redemption, tell us about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk today about the Hawke's Bay Readers and Writers Festival, which is nestled within the wings of the Harcourt's Hawke's Bay Arts Festival.
Yes.
So we are a small but perfectly formed festival, and I'm the chair of that board, so this is why I'm pushing that barrow today. So Running for Redemption is a session that we've got. It's on Saturday the 17th of October, 2 p.m. at Havelock North Function Centre, and it's Steve Gurney, who is a New Zealand icon, 9 times winner of the Coast to Coast. He's got an MBE. He's just been there, done it, nearly died in the process of. And Matt Kalman, who's a journalist and an artist and has also entered the Coast to Coast multiple times. But his book, The Longest Day, is subtitled Standing Up to Depression and Tackling the Coast to Coast. So what we're doing with this session is we are talking about the joy of adventure sport and multi-sport and racing and kayaking and, getting out there into the wild, and also how Matt Kalman and Steve Gurney have both suffered some pretty significant mental distress as well. So we're talking about the very highs and the very lows of being a sports person.
Yes.
And also how those sports can increase your mental well-being. So we're really digging deep and looking at what motivates a person as well to go all those kilometres from one side of the country to the other in a day. It's called The Longest Day, that one.
Absolutely.
And do we swap obsessive behaviours? If we have like high levels of anxiety, are we then going to run away from it by running that far? So we're really going to scratch the surface and dig into the highs and the lows of these sports and what's happened to these men.
And that could get inside your head anyway, just by doing that, being obsessive about it. But, they say exercise is great for people who are depressed, but you could get depressed by not achieving, I suppose. Crikey.
Well, there's that too. Yeah, so it's going to be an absolutely fascinating session, so I'm really looking forward to that one. And their books are, Matt's book that I've just mentioned, The Longest Day, because he's a journalist and an award-winning journalist at that, he had this massive crash just at the height of his career, and really sort of looked at himself and supported some of his friends that did Coast to Coast and thought, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to try that. And it's his sort of redemption through that sport. But the book is so readable, and there are things in it that you don't expect to happen, because when you're reading someone's life story, you kind of think how it's going to go, and then it doesn't. No. And of course, Gurney's written 2 books about his life. So Lucky Legs, because he was the scrawny boy that was always picked last at school, and then he went on to be this amazing multi-sports person. And then he's written Eating Dirt as well. But Lucky Legs I've just read, and just absolutely fascinating and hilarious, and also like, my God, the motivation of the man. And he's actually got a big section in the middle of his tips on, okay, to achieve this, do this, because he has failed. He has had real lows, but he's also achieved incredibly, high the heights of sportspersonship.
It's a sign of a special person, isn't it? Someone who can be knocked down, they get back up again, they carry on, they think, well, I'm going to leave that behind me, I'm going to get on with my life.
Yeah, so it's the inspiration that I'm hoping to get from this session, and I think that's what we're gonna see.
Now, when you came in, you said, we're going to talk about Born to be Wild.
Yes.
I immediately thought of Steppenwolf.
Are you going to give us a chorus?
No, I'm not going to do that. Not unless you accompany me with it. Oh, you know that song?
I only know that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I do. Okay, we'll talk about that another time.
Okay, tell us about Born to be Wild.
So this one is our very own Adele Broadbent, who works with us at Wardini Books and is a published author of 6 books now. And Mary-Anne Scott, who we've interviewed on Made in New Zealand before as well.
Indeed.
And so they have both published books in the past year for young adults and intermediate age children that deal with the great outdoors. So Mary-Anne has published Spearo and Sticking with Pigs, that are, spearfishing and pig hunting adventures that deal with kids in the wild facing the issues that most kids go through. It might be friendship, it might be bereavement, and working it all out whilst in the wild, barefoot in the bush or in the sea, and hopefully not barefoot in the bush. It's not recommended. And then Adele's novel If Only, which I adore, is a real coming of age story. You might be 14, but you're not one thing or the other, and there's boys starting to be involved, and this, that, and the other. But that has a great connection to Project Jonah, who are greatly involved with helping stranded marine mammals, and we've just seen that in Tassie.
Yes,
it was just absolutely, I couldn't look, which is the wrong attitude, I know, but it was just awful. So we're going to get these girls together, these ladies together, to talk about adolescence, really, and the confusion, the lies, the drama, and how you deal with that through your books, and what's in it for the kids to read those and figure out, I'm not alone, that kind of thing. So we're really going to have a look at engaging young readers with fictional worlds there. So we want kids to come to that. We want youngsters to come to that with their families, and then they can talk to Adele and Mary-Anne afterwards as well. So that's going to be a fabulous session.
And when's it all happening?
That one is, I've chosen these two today because they're both Saturday the 17th of October. So this one's at 4:00 in Napier. So that's Napier War Memorial Centre. And you can get tickets from the Hawke's Bay Arts Festival website. You just click on the Readers Writers link and it sends you through to all our wonderful sessions that I shall go on and on about over the next few weeks.
Now, if we want any fabulous books, where do we come?
All these books are stocked at Wardini Books in Havelock North, 16 Tomato Road, Havelock North, and 44 Hastings Street in Napier.
As always, Lou, our pleasure. You look after yourself. We'll talk to the same time, same place next time.
Cool. Thank you very much, Ken.